Hello guys, and welcome back to another week of Monday Night Raw here in our alternate universe mode in WWE 2K19. I'm Rich, welcome back to RR37. It is great to have you here. If it is your first time, welcome. If you've been here before, then thank you very much and welcome back. It's another big show tonight, but what we're going to start with is something that actually happened earlier in the week. That was a result of what happened when Max Rutan lost in the main event of last week's Raw. It is an open to the public training session between the stable of Stephen York, the two competitors as you can see being Max the Viking Warrior Rutan against Johnny Justice. At the moment what we're seeing is Max trying to help Johnny with his striking game, and you can see that it's working quite well there. And if we skip forward just a little bit, you can see that then Johnny tries to teach Max a bit of the ground game, and this is something that went backwards and forwards for a good old while actually. So we're going to cut to the end of it in a sec. You see that Johnny's got an arm lock there on Max. Max learns quite quickly, doesn't go for an arm lock though, just constricts the breathing of Johnny with a body scissors there, but they're not going full pace here guys. So you saw Max teaching Johnny the heavy striking, and now you're seeing Johnny teaching Max the ground game. You can see Max is actually struggling with it a little bit, and if we move on forwards again a little bit further, you'll see that Rutan basically had completely enough of that. He hits Justice with his blood kick and then would proceed to go outside, and Stephen York, you can see that is quite out of his mind. This was not part of the plan. He doesn't know what's going on at this point. The coach there doesn't either. In fact, Max swings at him, but the coach manages to get out of the way. There it is. Look, Stephen York, he's like, what the hell are you doing, Max Rutan? And Max goes and tries to break the ankle there of Johnny Justice, and it wouldn't be the only time that he attempted this either. He, I think, was planning this all along. The frustration with him has been building since Johnny Justice come into the picture for Stephen York, and Max's career has took a downturn since then. The only two losses of his career have happened is what I should say, since Johnny Justice came into the fold with Stephen York. You see it at the bottom of the screen there, Stephen again pleading with Rutan to stop, but he is definitely trying to break the ankle here of one Johnny Justice, and when he got fed up or whatever it was of trying to do that, he would then proceed to hit Johnny Justice with another blood kick, as you can see just here. And at this point guys, you have to think that if you're wondering why nobody's come out to stop this, this was just supposed to be an open to the public training session, so there are no officials here. This is being held on his own back by Stephen York. And I, like I said, think that this was planned all along by Rutan. And you can see there, the ankle on its own wasn't enough. He has tried to break the neck now of Johnny Justice, and he's telling Stephen York, you bought this on yourself. But Max wasn't finished there guys. From the information that we've got with the visuals here and what Jacobs provided us with, Max then agreed earlier tonight before we come on air, to meet with Stephen York and apologise for his actions. And well, you're about to see that actually all this was another setup, as Max now unleashes on Stephen York, who we was only saying, I think it was just last week, that Stephen York was, without getting in the ring, one of the most powerful guys that we've got here in Universe Mode, mainly because of Max's success, to be honest. But you can see that Max is pretty much done with Stephen York, and it would not end there guys. You see, Max just went to pick up Stephen York, but only so he could DDT him on that solid wooden table that belongs to Spike Jackson, who was not at the arena at this point. And that brings us to our first match of the evening, guys. We have Travis Turner here versus Franklin Majors, and this has come about, well, instead of me just telling you, let me show you. So we saw Franklin Majors having a little bit of a conversation now with Travis Turner and using that as a means to basically surprise attack unfortunate Travis there. And well, it wouldn't end there for him. It was one of Majors' finishes, his big power bomb there, followed by a second, and he would not be done there either. He goes on and he hits Travis Turner once again. You can see he's already out on his feet there, Turner, but not enough for Majors. He has to hit him with a third massive power bomb, which leads us to here tonight. And not only has it led us here tonight, that was just a small clip of what Franklin Majors did a couple of weeks ago that caused all of that drama that we've seen between himself and George Blake last week. So been busy, if I can get my words out, couple of weeks for Franklin Majors here, ultimately resulting in this match. He did pick up the win against Cameron Oxley, which was the reason to get that match, was the very reason that Franklin attacked Travis Turner in the first place. And then we saw Travis last week come out and say, whoa, Franklin, if you're going to use me as a stepping stone, you're not just going to jump me backstage, you are going to have to face me man to man in the middle of the ring, and you're going to have to step on me hard. And well, we're here now, a couple of weeks later. As far as I'm aware, Travis has fully recovered from getting his head smashed off the floor like that, which is an accomplishment in itself, really. Well, I don't know if he's at 100%. He's not said anything himself. The medical team haven't said anything, so we have to assume that he is. And this is going to be a highly competitive match, I reckon, between two of the young up-and-comers here in our universe, and they're both at each other's expense at the moment, trying to make their mark. So, in a way, you have to ask the question, everything Franklin's done the last couple of weeks, has he been vindicated? Up to this point, I would have to say yes. He's got the exposure that he wanted. He got the win against Cameron Oxley, which was televised. Has another televised match here tonight against Travis Turner. And well, Travis has just sent a major statement out there, but it didn't falter Franklin in the slightest. He stayed on the aggression. And yeah, I would have been quite shocked that I didn't have the power to knock Travis Turner down like that at the beginning of the match. But like I said, it didn't falter Franklin. This guy is absolutely bubbling with confidence right now, and he should be. He is undefeated here at the moment. He's doing everything on his own terms, his own way, in his own time, exactly like he told everybody he was gonna do. And that there, by the way, was a very impressive move from Travis Turner. I've not seen him do that before. But yeah, Franklin stuck to his guns. He said, I'll do it my way, on my time, and he certainly is doing that. And even if George doesn't like it, well, you've got to assume, with George being out here tonight, that the conversation's been had between the two of them. Jacob done some brilliant work last week, managing at two different times to ask them both the same set of questions. We got different answers from both of them, but again, George is still out here in Franklin's corner tonight. So as I say, you have to assume that they've ironed out those differences and that the conversation has been had. As we go into our first cover of the evening, it's one, and that's all it is right now. The youth and the condition that these guys both have, I think it's going to take a lot to put either of them down tonight, but this could do it. Big sit-out powerbomb there from Franklin, and Travis is in a bit of trouble in this match, it has to be said. He doesn't look quite right to me. Another big move here from Franklin. He is absolutely took 100% control of this match so far, just burying that point to the elbow there into both traps. That is going to knock them up, and it is going to hurt as well. Gut wrench now. Into a Dominator. Absolutely beautiful from Majors, and that could be it. It's 1. It's 2. Ref in great position there, but again, the conditioning of young Travis there, getting him out of trouble. Franklin is going to look to put the finishing touches on this one here. Can he finish off Travis Turner? He's got him up, and bang, there you go. Just like last week, out on the floor, finishing him off with the time bomb potentially. It's 1, it is 2, and it's 3. And that, guys, is a very, very impressive win from Franklin Majors tonight. Travis Turner got next to no offense in during this match. He looked off to me. I wonder if he's rushed into this a little bit. Maybe he wasn't 100%. I mean, we saw his head absolutely bounce off the concrete last week. Well, 2 weeks ago, sorry. In a very vile manner, actually. And it is very, very short, the time span between that and what we've just saw again, as his back of his skull just got rattled off the ring floor. And that was enough. So I asked the question at the beginning of the match, is Franklin vindicated in his actions over the last couple of weeks? And well, 2 wins on TV. Lots and lots of exposure and attention around this guy at the moment. I would say I don't agree with the way that he's gone about what he's done, but the results of that speak for themselves, in my opinion. So I would have to say probably yes, he is vindicated in what he's done. Congratulations to him tonight. It's back to the drawing board for Travis. Maybe they meet again a bit further down the line when he's had more time to recover, and maybe, just maybe, then we get a different outcome. But in the ring, I have to say I'm impressed with what I've seen from Franklin so far. And he says himself, this industry, this universe of ours, is all about putting the wins in the wins column and avoiding the losses. And well, so far he has found the recipe to do just that. So with that, it is now time to jump into the match card. Of course, we've just seen the results of this match, so don't need to concentrate on that anymore. All done and dusted. Unfortunate for Travis, but again, another dominant performance from Franklin. And well, one thing that I didn't mention during the match is, well, if Travis was 100% going into that match and I was wrong, then that's an even more impressive win by Franklin Majors, who is definitely someone to keep an eye on in this universe of ours. But on to the next match, we have got the Inform Cornerstone being represented by Aidan Horton tonight, and they're going off against a man. Well, I say a man, he is actually more than a man. He's our resident vampire here in our universe, and we saw the table last week. This guy quietly going about his business. He's doing very well here in Universe, and we'll look to keep that going tonight. As will Brock Cruz, who, well, Jacob tried to get the secret of Brock's recent success last week, but Brock was, well, it's wise really. I agree with what he said. Why, if you have found something that's working, why would you then put it out there for all of your opponents to go and listen to? So he refused to answer Jacob on that one, and he's going to be going up against RK Ortiz tonight, who once again is desperate to start turning things in his favour. Before the main event, we have Alpha Jackson along with the rest of industry going against Tyson Schmidt with Jordan outside the ring. So it's hard really, isn't it, to see anything other than an Alpha Jackson win here tonight. He's been impressive anyway, even before joining up with industry. He's kind of joined them really, I would say, out of guilt almost, for what he did to his brother, but he's there in any event. And then speaking of events, the main one tonight, we'll see Stud Rivers go up against Dixon Armstrong, and we'll talk more around that as we get into it as normal. So I'm out here tonight to address the big bad franchise himself, Richard Robinson. I am absolutely shivering in my boots because he has accepted my challenge. You know what, all jokes aside, for once I am impressed because I didn't think he would accept a straight up challenge, especially from the likes of me. But he's feeling supremely confident because he is so strong. He's so big, he's so bad. He dominated Henry Bobby, who we've not even seen since that last man standing match. Well, let me tell you something, franchise, I hope you are listening. I have been beaten down by life itself in general, and trust me when I tell you that that is far bigger, far badder, far stronger, far darker than anything that you've probably even ever seen. So I can't wait for this championship tournament to end now. Hopefully I make it to the knockouts and I can face you as the first Universal Champion, Universe Mode Champion, sorry. But with that being said, I'm a humble guy. I know I'm not the best here. I've got the biggest heart here though. So title or not, I'm gonna see you in a few weeks and you can bring all the strength, all the power, all the quickness, all the aggression, everything that you want. Trust me, it is not going to help you. I will outlast anything that you throw at me, and I will keep on moving forward because that is what I do. When the chips are stacked against me, that is when I'm at my best. So bring it on, I cannot wait. And just as a side note, you can see that I don't need no representative to talk for me. I am quite capable of doing it myself. With that said, in this rivalry that is brewing, I make it 1-0 Dixon Armstrong. Well guys, I could be totally wrong about this, but I feel like Dixon Armstrong there was poking fun at the franchise, and well, having seen that last man standing match, I don't know how wise that actually is, but be that as it may, it is of course a match that hasn't been signed yet, but could well take place at the end of our championship tournament here. But the results for tonight, you see the Vampire picking up the win over Aidan Horton. Brock Cruz back on the winning trail again after his minor slip up last week. Next we had Alpha Jackson going against Tyson Smith, and as we predicted earlier in the night, Alpha Jackson picks up the win in that one. And that moves us towards our main event of Stud Rivers versus the guy we've just seen there, Dixon Armstrong. But before we get there, it would seem as though Buster has something to say, probably regarding what Dixon just said. So, Dixon Armstrong claims that he's 1-0 up in a rivalry against my client, the franchise. Can you believe it? Well, with his record, actually, I kinda can, because men like him, they're not winners, so they have to take the smallest of victories anyway that they can, even if it includes trying to be clever, trying to poke fun at a guy who's not even in the arena tonight. But that again shows the level that them over there, Dixon Armstrong, George Blake, Franklin Majors, a little bit different. I kind of respect what he's doing so far, but we don't have a problem with him. In fact, this whole thing started between my client and George Blake, and even I don't know why there is such a hatred there. But it's nothing to do with me, really. I've been pulled into it, as has Dixon Armstrong. He's pulled himself into it, and well, he's made a huge mistake because he's got involved in something that's way bigger than him, way badder than him, as he just put it, and it's something that he's not going to be able to handle. So as soon as that promo went out, I got a text off my client. Like I said, he's not here tonight, but I got a text off him saying we forgot something before this match gets signed. There has to be a stipulation, there just has to be. And well, that stipulation that my client wants is, if you lose Dixon Armstrong, and you will, then the stipulation reads that my client gets what he wants, which is George Blake in the ring himself, one-on-one, in a match of my client's choosing. So you've accepted our challenge, you've come out, said you're gonna win, so I don't really see the problem, but me and my client await your answer next week. I am done. Oh my wow, have the stakes ever just shot up in that one, as if it weren't going to be a match that was heated and with bad blood enough. You put that stipulation on the line now as well, and you just have to wonder. You have to wonder, will Dixon be so ready to jump at that? I think he will, but you would imagine there's got to be a conversation between himself and George Blake before he accepts that challenge, because if he does and he loses, well, yeah, I don't even know what to say, but it is going to be absolutely horrendous for George Blake. And speaking of horrendous, this guy here, after getting off to such a hot start in this universe of ours, his run of late has actually been nothing short of horrendous, and mainly in his defense, it's due to Alex Charman. He was on such a good run, then he aligned with Alex Charman, and things took a bit of a downturn. Those two had a match at SummerSlam last minute, which stood won. Alex again went by his side and started to befriend him, and I think respected him more after that match at SummerSlam as well. And it looked like it might work out between the two of them, but then later on we find out that Alex Charman has joined Industry, and before that was revealed, had stabbed Stud Rivers in the back for a second time. So you have to ask the question, has Stud now just done with friendships? Is he going to refocus on just wins and losses? Because that seems to be the way to go in this universe at the moment. Franklin Major's proving that earlier again tonight. Stud just needs to find that confidence. He needs to find himself again. He started to win the fans over because he's been involved in probably the two most competitive matches in this universe of ours. So he's definitely got it in him to be a major player here in this universe, but you can't do that if you're not stacking up the wins in the ring. And at the moment he's getting the odd win, but he's now getting more losses than he's getting wins, and that is just, it's not good enough really. And he finds himself against a man tonight in Dixon Armstrong that has been up and down himself lately. He's pulled, I agree, to be honest, with what we have just heard from Buster England. This guy Dixon, I get that George is his manager, it's his friend. They're very similar in terms of how they've got here to our universe. Dixon's had to fight all his life for everything that he's got, which is frankly not a lot. Same can be said for George. They found something in each other. There was a common ground there. I think they were going to try to help each other to the top of this universe, but it hasn't turned out that way, and Dixon's just really, he's not been able to focus on what's going on in the ring because he's pulled himself into whatever this issue is between George and the franchise, and it's been to his detriment. He's been mentally up and down. His focus, his energy has just been scattered everywhere, and his career here is really suffering because of that. He really needs to put it all behind him and focus on himself, but he's such a nice guy that he finds it very difficult to do that, it seems. And well, if he continues down that path, then he's not going to have the career that he wanted here. And of course, we've heard him say it many times before, for him this is it. If this doesn't come off, then he's lost. He won't know what to do with himself basically, so he's got to shut all that extra noise out. He's got to focus on what he wants, and he's got to go after it basically, and just see where that takes him. Even that's not guaranteed it's going to be successful, you know, but he has to try. and he has to do it quickly because Stud's just hit him with the money shot, and well, this could be all, you know. It's 2 and it is 3, and that there is precisely what I'm talking about. And guys, breaking that wall for a minute, I apologise that the main event was just so one-sided, and Stud has picked up the win here, and well, Dixon offered nothing in that match. Like I said, his energy and his focus is so scattered right now, and that wasn't enough for Stud. I can kind of understand his frustration lately. He's found somewhere to take it out on, and unfortunately for Dixon, that was him. And well guys, that is it for this week. I have to shoot, so I can't talk more than like I would normally do. So thank you once again for watching. I hope that I'll see you all back here for the next one, but until then, bye bye.